Well, here we are at ISHI 33, and I'm meeting with Jennifer Raymond from the New South Wales Police Force.
Hi, very glad to be here.
Nice to have you. Very nice to meet you, Jennifer. And how has this ISHI 33 been for you this year?
Well, fantastic. This is my first ever ISHI, so and first time out of Australia, I think, since COVID. So I'm very excited to be here. It's so great to see so many people in person, and you just realise how much you miss. Like, whilst it's good having online meetings, it's all these incidental conversations over a drink or over the exhibitor hall. So it's been fantastic to be here.
Yeah, more face to face. The networking is a lot easier, right?
And you never realise what great ideas come from those incidental conversations at the meal table or something like that you just don't get online. So.
Have you had any special ones like that this year?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're going to solve the world's problems over dinner tonight, I think. But I've made some really good connections. We're working a lot in implementing forensic investigative genealogy in Australia. So making those connections here has been brilliant, and seeing some of the labs and seeing the new techniques that are available.
Yeah. So what are some of those new techniques that are available? What have you seen here at ISHI that's interesting? Yeah,
definitely some of the labs that are really doing some great work in getting DNA from compromised, degraded samples, rootless hairs, seeing all of that unfold has been really interesting. So coming from a government lab background where we're so used to, it's the government labs that are validated within an inch of their lives.
Yes.
But seeing the innovation that's coming from the private labs, especially we don't really have that kind of experience in Australia, so coming to the US and seeing all these labs doing some great things is really exciting.
That is exciting. So what do you do at the police force? What is your job there?
I'm the research coordinator for New South Wales Police, so I have the great job of being able to do everything to do with forensic science. So not just DNA, but fingerprints, ballistics, any drug detection. So I get to do be the jack of all trades when it comes to forensics. Which
and
I really love.
Are you performing any of those tests, or are you just coordinating that and having the scientists?
Yeah, my role is to basically come to things like this and see what new techniques are out there that we might be able to implement within our own agency. So we coordinate research projects with academia and private industry, test out new equipment, and then sort of decide whether it will be worth investing in that in-house within New South Wales.
Okay, so do you have, in your area, do you have any of the police or investigators who are first on the scene? Are they doing any of the forensics?
Yeah, absolutely. So within New South Wales Police Force, we've got, in the forensic area, there's probably about 1,000 people all up. So we cover crime scene in terms of property crime all the way up to homicides and counter-terrorism investigations. We've got a fingerprint bureau that do all the fingerprint analysis, document examination, ballistics, and some clan lab investigations. And then when we collect all the evidence, we send it to our partner agency, which is the health department, that do the DNA analysis, chemical analysis and drug analysis.
Wow, that's a very nicely laid out way to do things. That seems very good. How many police forces do you have in Australia? Like 9?
8 even. 8. So there's 8 jurisdictions, and we've got 8 police forces. So I think Nathan Scudder, our colleague from the Federal Police, mentioned in his presentation, we all fit around the same table. So
that is exactly why I even asked that question. I just thought he said 9, but he said 8. I guess
New Zealand. If you throw New Zealand in, we'll add it up to 9.
Then that's 9. All right. He was right, and I was sort of right. Yeah, that's impressive. So do you know Nathan? Do you work with him on that level? Since you're both from Australia?
That's right. I think everyone knows everyone in Australia. Forensics, but we're part of a collaboration to try and validate and assess and implement forensic genetic genealogy within Australia. So we've been working quite closely over the last couple of years in some research and also implementation of policy and privacy assessments. Right.
So have you been able to use genetic genealogy yet, or are you still building that capability?
Colleagues in our Victorian partners have used it in casework, and I just brought 3 samples with me over to the US here. So I'm hoping by the time I get back to Australia, we'll have some data to start working on with cases, which is really exciting.
That's exciting. So that's literally happening right now.
Right now, yeah. So
that's
fingers
so cool.
crossed.
Yeah, good luck.
Hoping those emails come through with some good results.
Yes. So you've come to ISHI. It's your first time, but you've been in the field for a long time. Do you feel like there's anything new? What's going to be the next exciting thing?
Good question. I think the rapid DNA side of things has been ticking along for a while, but it would be really interesting to see whether that evolves not just from STRs but into SNPs as well.
Yeah.
And the news, it's always the holy grail of any investigation to be able to do confirmatory testing and get results at the field one time. So I think that move into even SNP testing in field, whole genome sequencing, whilst it might be a little way off yet, that would be really interesting to see that evolve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that SNP detection, is that actually in the field with the forensics personnel on scene?
Potentially. I mean, it does seem a bit like CSI or science fiction.
Yeah.
And it will have to obviously take a lot of development work to get to that point. But who knows in 10, 20 years' time what we'll be able to do.
Yeah. I think of like Star Trek where they have the machine that they just scan you. What is that thing called?
Everything.
Steve, you gotta help me. You gotta, that would be amazing, right? You just scan a crime scene and it just goes, oh, it's Bob.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And does your work for you. And probably on that, the other side of that is the data analytics, I think, is the really key area in forensics.
Oh,
with
right.
all this incredible instrumentation and these results, we've got all this information and data. And I think for a lot of labs, the IT system is the last thing that's thought of, or there's still manual processes. So if we can get much better case management systems that can do proactive data analytics, we can start to see trends of why are we getting great results with steering wheels and not handbrakes, or suddenly things are dropping off in this area, what's happening there, and then pulling all those links together too for MO data plus DNA plus fingerprints to give a really great package to investigators to say all these crimes are linked and be much more proactive with forensics.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I'm thinking about the data because perhaps the public is starting to feel like a lot of their data is out there. Every photo I take and I put it on any social media, I'm like, okay, well, there's a fingerprint of me, right? So I'm wondering, has that been a hurdle or has that been a blessing in the world of trying to, build a genetic genealogy database and have people be okay with that?
Absolutely, and I think that is probably a big part in the public sort of being not complacent, but sort of accepting of, that use of those data sources, because they see, at least when we're looking for forensic genetic genealogy cases, where we've got a good cause, we're not just harvesting their information to sell them things or to make more money.
I hear you.
So maybe that the widespread use of data has made people a little bit more accepting and ambivalent about that use of that data. So it is a boon for us in investigations that we can do it, but we're really mindful that we have to do it in a transparent and respectful way so we don't lose that public trust.
Yeah, because I feel like, especially in the world of genetic genealogy, there have been people, and there still are, right? DNA Doe project, right? Where they're like citizens who are helping do these things, right? So that, just the citizens around want to be helpful.
Yes.
So I could then see people wanting to just upload.
Exactly.
Being able to do that to, some secure, police place or, somewhere where it's going to be well maintained and kept.
We're finding now the questions that we're getting from the media is less of why are you doing this? It's a big privacy impact. It's more like, why aren't you doing this? You're behind the times. So why aren't you solving crime? So I think that tide of public sentiment has come around a bit. And I guess when you see the amazing results that we've seen in some case studies here at ISHI, those crimes would not have been solved any other way. So
Can you describe one of those for me, just because I don't get to go to those talks? What was one from this ISHI where genetic genealogy was like key? Yeah,
Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick had some great case studies in her presentation yesterday with Bibb County Doe. Things that, they're 50 years old. People are never going to get into CODIS any other way. That family, the descendants of that person, they finally get some resolution of this family mystery, this horrific event in their family's lives, and hopefully you think of all the impact that event has had a ripple effect on that family, potentially in giving them some peace about they know what's happened to their loved ones. So really incredible.
And I find that that's why a lot of people that I've interviewed and talked to here, that's why they do it, right? Is to bring that closure, to help those people understand.
I can't think of another industry where we get that level of perspective of like the power of this and that job satisfaction of knowing that whatever you did managed to resolve this and bring peace to a family. It's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit like being in healthcare where you're, getting to cure somebody or help somebody through something like that. And it's the whole family.
Exactly.
Many times. So
yeah. And
it's very empathetic and it's incredible, right? The ways that it can even be done because people have no hope.
Exactly.
Or they're pretty at the end of their hope by the time, some of these things actually happen. It's pretty great.
To have that sort of job satisfaction is incredible. And put that perspective on, what's really important. We can all there's no infighting amongst forensic science. We've all got to come together. We saw it with CODIS and people came together to agree for the greater good. So hopefully with genealogy evolving, that same process will happen, that we're all realising that we've got this amazing technique that has the potential to solve so many cases. So if we can all come to agreement on the path forward.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me, Jennifer. This has been great.
Thank you. It's not often I get to have a good conversation with a guy in a wig.
I know, right? Isn't it calming to have the opposite person be looking a little crazy?
Well, actually, it reminds me of court in Australia because our judges still wear the wigs and everything. So I have felt a little bit in the box.
Oh, okay. I wish I had a gavel for you. That would be just right at home. Okay.
Excellent. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll see you at ISHI 34.
I'll be here.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jennifer.